Good evening and welcome to the studio this evening. Slight apologies for being late. Got in rather late tonight and then seemed like a good idea to have something to eat. I'm just trying to get a wire to stay out of the way. Oops, there's it. Right. So I've just finished my tea, a nice pepperoni pizza, and I'm now ready to start with this. I also put the glove on the right way around to start with. And now then, some of the body. Doing the body as light as possible, basically. Fur direction. Yep. Fur direction is towards the nose. Okay. Excuse me. So now then, what I want to do is, because the fur direction is going to match this fur direction exactly, or it should do, what I want to do is leave a small gap. Because there is, in actual fact, a shadow there, so leaving a small gap isn't unreasonable. So I'm going to do, what I'm doing now is just putting a few scratches in. Roughly along the line that I want the let me go that far down for the moment. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. What I think I might try and do is just fade it out at the bottom here. As I mentioned yesterday, there's kind of like a light source coming this way across, and I kind of like the way it sort of fades out, as though there's a torch or something going right across its face. And if I can maintain that sort of light source angle and then sort of fade the rest out as though it's coming out of the darkness, I think that could be quite powerful, or quite nice. But leopard spots, what was I thinking of anyway? I was thinking it would make an impressive image. That's what I was thinking. So just giving this tool just a little bit of a, I won't say sharp, but honing. No, don't do that, Cleo. Stay over there. Don't try and... Yeah. She's probably going to try and jump on the tank. Why does it sound like that? Come on, Scraper, scratch. Now what I'm trying to do here is be light if I can, which looks reasonably okay. Now there will be rim light, I think, if there was a torch shining from that sort of direction. Just a little bit, so the edge being a bit brighter than the interior shouldn't matter too much. But like most things in life, shouldn't and actually are two different things. Okay, so that's one edge. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I have a hair or something tickling my nose. It's going to drive me potty. Bubbles the Monkey, good evening. Seems there are more channels with desyncing problems. Desyncing? What's desyncing, Bubbles the Monkey? I haven't been on Twitch all day. I have been out until about 5 to 8 and then go back in, immediately started having some food, and then I've only just been on stream about 10 minutes disconnecting. Okay. Oh, hopefully I'm not going to have a problem tonight. How are you anyway, Bubbles the Monkey? I saw you doing a sword the other night. So these are larger spots with probably more space in between, more than anything. Okay. Oh, well, you see, that's what it is. Twitch is trying to hide its problems, you see, by buffering everybody that starts talking about it. I've given up watching my own stream back anyway. I used to do it to try and monitor and see, you know, looked like stream delay and things like that, but I got disconnected so many times from my own stream that it just wasn't worth me trying. I got that's welcome news. I was just about to say, I think I'm going to be trying out a new craft shortly, Bubbles the Monkey. And then it occurred to me, of course, I've still got the fuse beads at the other side of the desk, at the other side of the studio there, to have a go at. I'm not sure I've found an image. Well, I haven't found an image I want to use yet. But just recently, I've been having a lot of visits on stream from Junior, and so he just eventually turns up and just lays in the desk, not too far away from where that camera is there. And I'm kind of not very keen to have a fuse bead board or two completed when Junior decides to arrive. Whilst he arrives very gently, he doesn't tend to bother about what he pushes out of his way when he lays down. And if Felix is following him like he does tend to a bit these days, Felix arrives really suddenly. So I'm not quite sure I want to try fuse beads just yet. Rihanna DeWitt 2001, hi, welcome, nice to see you again. And Fluffy Twiggler, hello there and good evening. And you've also been taking a look today, was it Kumahimo braiding, which looks quite interesting, if quite hard to say. Yeah, it's going to get quite dark under here. Captain Derby, well, hello there, hello to you as well, welcome. You've been doing some observational sketches. Okay. Oh, you're going out and doing fast sketching. That's challenging. I hate doing rapid sketching like that. Actually, no, I don't hate it. I haven't practiced it. It's a real challenging sort of skill, which I haven't got, not yet. Cat hair or something, tickling my nose. I watched the after the stream last night. I watched Doctor Who, Fluffy Twiglet. Interesting, interesting episode. And of course, you know he can't die, so it's going to be interesting to see how he gets out of that conundrum. Should be interesting. That is indeed true. In some ways, it's tempting not to watch any of them and then sort of pick up iPlay at the end of the season and just watch them one after another rather than having to wait a week in between. Yeah. Do you need patience to do Scraperboard? No. You need patience to watch Doctor Who. I'm just filing the tip of this scraper again. I could almost do with something, I don't know. Actually, I wonder if I've got a hardened point somewhere. I was thinking I could almost do something like a strand of fibre optic that if as it wears down, it stays sharp basically. Whereas this, I guess it's mild steel, tends to blunt over. But I'm just thinking there whether some sort of hard engineering point would stay sharp enough for this, because as the tip blunts, you end up pressing harder, and therefore you get whiter marks, and the whiter marks make it lighter, of course. And if you have to dim, then that's not what really you're trying to get to. To really, sort of, it's an odd sort of feeling, because it's kind of like the tool starts scratching, and you can sort of feel the resistance. It kind of just skates over the surface. Now around the front, at least on the leopard here, the stripes, the spots are larger, and there's a lot more merged together into almost stripes. Or the odd stripes, so it's different. They're sort of, it's less busy, shall we say, so there's less spots overall. So I'm going to be a bit careful not to go silly with the dots. Now then, what I could do with doing now is like that. That. Down, across and down, okay. So the leg is going to be roughly, so just be that way, okay. Okay, so what I was just doing there is just roughing in some spots without well, I'm adding scratches, but I'm actually adding scratches, fur-like scratches. So that it won't show up as looking odd when I actually do the scratching. And a few small scratchings around here. Yeah, and do a couple around here as well. And just another pattern there. Okay, so I've got a few scratches roughed in. I know you probably can't see them on the screen. You can probably just about see. I think you just about see roughly where I sort of was doing some scratching. But there's enough here for me to see where they are, so I can now go in and just do fur. If it wasn't quite as bright. Now I've tried this with a scalpel, but the scalpel blade actually goes blunt faster than this blade does on the end of here. What I really need for this is very fine scratches. The finer the better. Because the finer they are, the dimmer they will appear. So what I'm trying to do now is do basically as fine a scratch as I can, but as few as I can. And it's not actually working all that well. Am I actually scratching that? Yeah, it looks like I am. Godzilla 8771-7. Good evening and welcome. Aldel H, also good evening and welcome. And thank you very much for that comment. How long have I been at this? Do you mean this particular image tonight or Scraperboard? Tonight, just over an hour. This particular picture is probably about 10-12 hours. Scraperboarding, this is my fourth image, so not very long. Although having said it's my fourth, probably that accounts to about 50 hours, something like that. So basically not very long at all. Oh, there are some absolutely fantastic, superb scraperboard artists out there. Godzilla 8771-7. I think I'll just call you Godzilla if you don't mind. But that make this look like I've drawn it with a half-inch marker pen. Some of them, but it does seem to be relatively rarely seen. The scraperboard. Godzilla 8771-7, thank you very much for following. That is most kind of you. And, well, I can't argue with that as an opinion, can I? I don't know how I'm seeing it the right way up, but that's it as it stands at the moment. Or as he stands, or she stands, not quite sure which it is. I'm working at an odd angle because I'm trying to keep in the fur direction, and I'm working from the ends of the fur backwards, and so it's a lot easier to do it if I turn the board around to match the direction I'm working. It's getting a little bit lighter than I want it to do so. It may well be that I'm going to do something with this pen again. Yeah, let's do something with this pen. Can't quite get the really fine scratches I'm after. Can I do this by that way? Can get a little bit frustrating when the scratches won't go just as you want them to do. It is, yes, it is. That's when you make all sorts of mistakes, Captain Derby. You get frustrated with something like this, and yeah, because I can't get the scratches, so I start pressing too hard. Then I get really deep white scratches, and the trick though is to recognise that's what it is. You know, you're getting frustrated with something, and to be able to sort of just take a step or sit back or whatever, however you describe it, and just let it relax and wash over you, and you know, have another go. Oof. Whoops, better not do that. I have kind of done that in the past. Sometimes I put it away for like 3, 4, 5 months, something like that. But no, I very rarely leave anything totally. I always tend to come back and have another go. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I mean, I've got things like cross stitches which are unfinished, and I've started new ones because I got bored of the same picture. So I think I've got all my frames full at the moment. And same, actually I was going to say the same with the rug making, but I think I've only got one that's on the go with that, a Scooby-Doo rug. But the problem with the latch hook is each row takes half an hour. It's one row per half an hour, so you do 2 rows an hour. And if you've got a rug that's sort of 3 foot tall, it takes a long time. It's quite fun doing. Actually, it's more fun doing a latch hook if you get somebody else giving you who pulls the threads out and gives you the threads. Then you can just keep hooking. But it's always the preparation that's a pain in the neck with some of these crafts. But now, I like now it's just sort of stretch my back, sit back, and chill, and okay, try it again. It's like when I was doing the actually this silver bracelet. I started this about 4 times, and it was getting really frustrating because I kept losing the pattern, and I was getting, it wasn't quite rage quitting, but it was getting close to it. And then I just sort of said, this is silly. It's a bracelet. It's a few rings. What's the point in getting annoyed with it? And sort of sat back, and then, next time it worked perfectly, first time. So, mind you, I have learnt a trick now where I can start these perfectly every time, so I don't have that frustration anymore, but hey, that reminds me, Robot's rather quiet this evening. Yeah, it is supposed to be hanging around. Oh well, we'll see if he perks up in a minute. Or she. I don't know what Moobot is. Sounds like a cow to me, but I gotta watch out for the light spots. Gotta be careful not to get too many of those in. Maybe now, Captain Dobby, is the time to go back and actually pull a few out. I mean, after all, you'll have learnt new things by now, so it's quite possible that some of the things you found hard before you can do quite easily now. Got to remember to keep turning the board or the angle of these scratches so that they all point towards the centre of the forehead. That's about where the leg will go down. Then we've got a small area of the chest. Okay. Possibly. I read a tweet this afternoon. What was it? An Englishman's something about, I can't remember, something to do with English people. You know, sort of phrases, sort of all of which mean no, and it seems like possibly. I'll think about it. Could do. And there was about 6. I saw it on the tweet. I can't remember, but they were all kind of. This actually means no. Well, after spending quite a lot of today clearing out a house, one thing I can thoroughly recommend is if you've got any unfinished projects that you're not going to finish, throw them out, get rid of them. Someday and soon. Yeah, that's right. Same thing, yeah. It's like that saying, was it? Never put off, never do today what you can put off until tomorrow. I kind of find it amazing the things that I would say I almost don't do it on purpose. That if I don't want to do something, how I can procrastinate. There'll be things like let's say I don't know. I wanted to look for a reference picture, and if I wasn't really wanting to do it a bit, I'll just check my mail first. I wonder who's broadcasting on Twitch. Any new YouTube videos? Now, where did I put that book? Oh, I better give my glasses a clean. And and then it's sort of 11 o'clock, and it's time to go to bed, and I still haven't done what I didn't want to do in the first place. Kind of amazed at how good evening, Mr. Pussycat. We may have a stream visitor soon, depending if he feels like laying down on top of the PC, which is warmer, since for some reason it's been on all day. One thing I found with Windows 10 is it doesn't go to sleep when it wakes up. And good evening, Junior. You want to come and sit on? Oh, you want to sit on my knee? Come on then. Move that to one side and come on. Yes, it's okay. They're only white gloves. Come on. You're gonna. I'll sort that camera out in a little while, guys. You're going to sit there. Hello. Yeah, that's right. You're going to come and sit? You're just going to sit there? Okay. Those people are just looking at my clock. Yeah, you want your head stroking. I know you want your head stroking. That's it. You come down on my knee. Preferably without the claws. Thank you. See if I can put this camera back. I actually really dislike this camera because of its stand, but come on. Or rather its lack of stand. It tips over at a moment's notice, doesn't it, Junior? I shouldn't really stroke you with these gloves because I'm going to get grease off your fur. Now then, let's see how long it is before he decides he doesn't like me leaning over him. Hello. don't quite know what he was saying there. I just looked at, well, he saw me, I looked down at him, he looked up at me and he meowed. You tip the camera a little bit that way, then I don't pull the board onto Junior, which he won't like. And it's a little bit difficult for me to see what I'm doing. Yes, hello. See what us struggling artists have to put up with. I'm struggling with a pussycat that wants to sit on my knee. It's getting a little bit light. Oh, you are around Moobar. You were long enough to show up. Hello. Yes. So that sort of, when I'm doing that, it's I'm just looking at Junior. So what got me into doing this? Probably just basically seeing somebody else do it. Don't actually recall. I was doing pyrography, and probably it showed up as a when I was doing some searches for pyrography to just see other people on YouTube. It probably showed up as like one of the recommended videos of somebody doing some scraperboard, and just the imagery of it was absolutely fascinating, I think, and I decided to have a go. It was a little while. It was probably a few months from thinking about it till actually getting some board and trying it, but it's an interesting art form. I've got a lot to learn about doing it, but and I think I've got some experimentation to do, but I've kind of enjoyed it since seeing it, so that's probably what got me into it. I don't actually recall the transition as such. I'm just trying to think now. No, because kind of the pyrography or the wood carving was kind of the same thing. I started doing, well, when I started doing art again around about 2010, I started with airbrushing, and then it's just built up from there. Thank you. Thank you, Godzilla. It's well practiced, but I actually once I get bored doing it, but once I've done an image like this, I'll want to do something else for a little while, and then I will come back. At the moment, I'm doing 5 different crafts in sequence, or in as the mood takes me, really. Wood carving, scraperboard, pyrography, jewellery making, and punchcraft. So they kind of keep me interested doing all of those. No, it wouldn't be possible, Godzilla. It takes practice, I will admit to that, and I kind of hesitate to say a sort of a natural affinity to it. I'm not sure I have, but yeah, it's in doing a lot of this stuff that I do. I do find there's a lot of crossover. So one of the things I really like doing in airbrushing is monochrome, black and white images. And hey, guess what? This is a black and white image. And it's white on black, which is what you do with airbrushing. And okay, I'm scraping, I'm not spraying paint, but quite a lot of similar sort of techniques apply. And even this is even, you know, really like drawing actually with a pencil, because it's drawing with a white pencil on black board as opposed to black pencil on a white board, but again it's the same sort of thing. I'm just drawing lines. So it's, you know, Scraperboard is very similar to other things, and then it really is just a case of practicing and doing things like one of the favourite sayings artist wise is paint what you see, not what you think. Scrape what you see, not what you think. And that is literally look at the shape that you're trying to and copy the shape, not sort of go, oh, you know, it's turning an angle here, therefore I must do, even though that's the wrong, you know, and that's what messes up a lot of people. They paint what, or they do what they think it should be, not what it actually is. And that's quite a hard technique to get used to. But it makes a big difference. And I think everybody can do things like this. Some will be more successful with less practice than others, and some will be yeah, absolutely amazing at it without any practice at all. It's genetic. It's genetic. Thank you very much for following. That's very kind of you. Oh, I see. Probably not tonight, Godzilla. I'll be around for about another 15 minutes, and then it'll be the end of the stream. But I'll be here tomorrow night at about 8 PM UK time, 1900 hours UTC. No, you can't have it. It's genetic. Matters 2000. Thank you very much. Yeah, then. What was I doing? Oh, yes. Yeah, no problem, Godzilla. Thank you very much for that. I'm from Earth. Let's do a another. That didn't scratch. There we go. This tool is becoming slightly blunt again. The left one. Now, Mattis, you obviously can't count. It's quite clearly 6. It's getting a little bit bright. It's not too bad for there, but this scraping is getting, the scratches are obviously getting a little bit deep and or wide because it's getting a little bit bright, which is not what I'm after. I need them to be quite dim at this stage. That might help. Just sharpen the point on this a little bit. And that looks like it might help a little bit. Yeah, it is scratching. That's working quite well. So we're going to have a see about putting a few more then let's have something that looks like a stripe across there. And we'll just have a rough patch right on the edge there, yeah. And that means that that's going to cut, the edge of the leg is going to come just down there. Like that, and then third action is virtually going to be straight down, so we'll just do some very light scratching just down here, really sort of random. You're probably not seeing this on the camera just because it's so faint, but I want it, it's visible here in person, and I need what is effectively a really faint edge. Just to make it disappear into the black. So then we build it back upwards from this, increasing the density of the scratches. as I get a little bit further up, just so that they become more visible. Still want them to be dim. I'm trying to keep the scratches light. It's a little bit difficult. This side of the leg would be in really a lot of shadow, so because of the way that you sort of you go round the corner of the leg. So I'm trying to keep it really light. Can always make it brighter later. Sorry, Junior. You going, Junior? Okay, you're going to sit right in front of the light, are you? Let me just move the camera because he's likely to lay on that. Oh, I tell you what. It's what, 10 past 10 now. I was going to do a little bit more, but as Junior has actually decided he's going to sit in the way, I think what we'll do is we'll close the stream down at this point. See if I can give you a view of what this looks like at the moment. Without zooming out too much. Okay, do that. Zoom out the old-fashioned way by moving the camera. That's what we're looking at the moment. And working down here, it's a bit too dim for the camera to see it. I'll move the light over a bit. Okay, now there we go. You can now see down here really dim. I've got a black area still to fill in. But we'll carry on with that on the next stream. Some of this will get lightened up, and some of it won't. And some of it will have sort of a bit of shading applied to it. But I kind of want this to be relatively dim because the main light source is here on the head. So this is in shadow. And so we'll put a little bit of shading on this side as well. But we'll carry on with that tomorrow. So I'm going to say to anybody that's watching, I'm going to remind them that I have a shop on Etsy, which is there. I can just about manage to point now, so I recommend anybody to take a look, if nothing else. Pass on the link to anybody else you feel like. I don't mind that link being passed on. And of course, if there's anything interesting, take out your credit card and buy it. But apart from that, anybody that's not following, of course, I encourage you to do so. That way Twitch will notify you when I go live. And if you just want the notification, you can follow me on Twitter as well at Zeragonart. And the details for that are also below the stream window. And I'll otherwise be live tomorrow night from about 8 PM UK time, 1900 hours GMT, or about 2 hours 10 minutes ago it was 8 o'clock. So you can do the maths. Thank you all. Have a good evening, and I'll see you in the studio tomorrow. Bye bye.